All right, Shalom. First, let's start by saying our praise to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Kakadash, that my honors to the elders and the apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that's doing the truth and sincerity. As you can see, Salakia, the title of this video is Fire Burns Area Larger Than Most Countries. Officials Can't Stop It. Right, so this is about the Canadian fire. And they saying the U.S. could be up for another round of smoke or toxic air, which we know all this shit is basically orchestrated and planned out. You know, the elites have an agenda, and they trying to get the population down to 500 million because of the New World Order. You know, that toxic air and, you know, this stuff just all of a sudden started happening with all the fires that's been going on around the world. So you gotta be, you gotta watch this devil, man. You know, because they could be pushing out these toxins on top of the chemtrails, you know, other things that may be in the air. And around the same time this came out, you had the thing about the water being polluted in over half, or at least half, of the United States drinking water is contaminated. I forgot the actual company. How about this? I'll be able to put that up when I'm done with this. So I'm going to play this clip.
Well, this morning, New Yorkers are once again being urged to prepare for smoke from the wildfires burning in Western Canada. Air quality health advisories are being issued for the entire state as winds are expected to carry a smoky haze to the northeast yet again this week. Now, it comes as Canada is experiencing its worst fire season on record. About 25 million acres have burned so far this year.
They've come all the way from America's southwest.
Well, welcome to Quebec.
Now here in northern Quebec's scorched lands, joining hundreds of other American and international firefighters, doing what they can to slow wildfires that just won't quit.
At this point, we're just trying to secure the edge and make sure that the communities are safe.
The Silver State Hotshot Crew is looking for hotspots. They are firefighting crews specially trained and skilled, now taking on Canada's record-breaking wildfires. I know you're from Montana, big sky country, but this was a big fire. This is big territory.
In the scope for us in the States, this would be one of the largest fires ever to occur in the United States. So, yeah, it's a gigafire.
The total area burned in Canada already has shattered records. Now 10 million hectares, that's almost 25 million acres, an area nearly as large as the state of Ohio, and still burning.
And when they burn like this, there's no way to even put people in front of it to even stop the fire. There's no amount of resources on the ground or from the sky that's going to be able to stop one of these fires when they get the momentum.
As shocking and frankly unsettling as it is, this fire is just far too large to extinguish. In fact, the area already burned is larger than most countries on the planet. It means that not only does the fire burn, but there is going to be a lot of smoke. And that means many American cities could be shrouded in smoke on any given day for weeks or months to come.
Don't be surprised if it continues. And secondly, this is a problem that is going to go on into the future. When it's the year to burn and the conditions are right, it's just going to continue to burn.
Here in Quebec, many were evacuated within minutes as the flames threatened towns and fires burned with raging speed. Jimmy Seaburn is grateful to see American help. He says he had minutes to leave in June and was upset to leave behind the family pets. They were fine when he returned 6 days later, but he fears his home will be threatened again. C'est incroyable, mais c'est pas normal. Oui, it's incredible, but it's not normal.
No,
He says it's not normal, but cautions we should all learn to expect the worst from the weather now. The rain helps. It has finally arrived in some places, but in the words of one Canadian official, it's like a drop in an otherwise empty bucket. The mayor of this town, Chibougamau, says the rain is an answered prayer. She may not have to evacuate her town again, but they have to adapt, she says. No one imagined so much would burn so quickly. Were you scared?
Strangely, I wasn't scared. I was mad. And then I have to come down and say, Manon, you have a job to do. And that's why, I say, so stay calm. And I said to my people, let's be patient, let's do it, and keep it zen.
It may be difficult to stay calm as Mother Nature rages. The cliche applies here in every way possible. Canada is burning, and it's not out of the woods yet. It's so incredible to think of. There are fires burning right through this country from one end to the other. And to that end, the Canadian government called in the Canadian military, this time in Canada's west, to help deal with those wildfires. You cannot put too fine a point of it, Abby and Phil. We are little more than halfway through the fire season. So have a look at those air quality indexes. We will be watching them for weeks, maybe months to come.
All right. So give me a second. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start with this precept. This is Sirach 39:28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. The spirits is talking about the angels. Fire, which is an angel, is doing this. Whether Esau setting these fires, because how they be trying to set the fires, to cut off the fires, to stop the fires and shit. And then they just eventually they lose control and whatnot, and then they set more fires, and so whether Esau doing it or not, man, this is all the agenda of the Lord. Hold on, Salakia. All right, Salakia. So it says, Sirach 39:29, fire and hail and famine and death, all these were created for vengeance. Right. So this is the angels at work, man. This is the Lord putting the angels to work, man. It says, teeth of wild beasts and scorpions, serpents and the sword, punishing the wicked to destruction. Right. So if anybody dies during this event, that's of the Lord. One, two, and they got multiple cases of people having to go to the hospital over here in the U.S. because of the fire, smoke filled air, because of the toxicity level of the environment. Because of this event, man. So that's another way Esau can get his sacrifices done, man, by polluting the air and killing the people off, man. The people that's dying nowadays is all being sacrificed for the furtherance of the NWO, man. It says they shall rejoice in his commandment, and they shall be ready upon earth when need is, and when their time is come, they shall not transgress his word. Right, man. So whether the Lord using Esau to do this type of event, man. And if more people die on this go round, because I didn't catch anyone dying on the next go round, just know that this is part of Esau's sacrifice system. And then this can be just to weaken your immune system even more, man. Because when they let loose and hell break out, a lot of people gonna drop dead, man, because they're not healthy enough to uh to endure what's going on, man. So Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands, right? So the least eventually going to be punished for doing this, man. This is Job chapter 20, verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment, right? And this goes for Esau, the elites, and these regular people, whether Jake or of the other nations, man. The bringing in of the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So if you're not of the elect, you're gonna get swept by these events, man. You know, by swept meaning the Lord is putting a lot of these people to death. One, and the elites, they eventually gonna have to pay for their sins in the kingdom of heaven through slavery, and that's what we're gonna get the spiritual power, be able to kill them off, and bring them back to life, and then kill them off again. But keep them in bondage during the whole process for 1,000 years, man, until we just get rid of them totally. You know. It's like if you can hear that music in the background. That's what happens when you live around heathens. Shit. It's like it. Bear with me. The second Ezra chapter 6, verse 7, it says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Right. The same question that the apostles asked in Matthew chapter 10, if I'm not mistaken, verse 1. What was the end of the world? And the end of the world, all in the world means it's the ending of Esau's kingdom, and that's what it's going to get into right here, man. This is the connection of that, another connect piece to that precept, man. Because notice how it said, then answered I and said, Well, what shall be the parting asunder of the times, or when shall be the end of the first and the first world, and the beginning of it that followeth? Right, man. So there's another world coming behind Esau's end, you know. And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, and this took place in the Genesis. Esau represents the Edomites, the Caucasian race, and Jacob represents the 12 tribes of Israel, the blacks, the Latins, and Native Americans of the various tribes, man. North, South, and Central America, man. Of those nations of people, man, so to speak. It says, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right. So we at the end of Esau's world, and Jacob's, the 12 tribes of Israel's world is coming next. That's the kingdom of heaven, man. And then Salakia, I forgot to mention when it said um, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. Jacob holding the heel of Esau is Jacob bringing down Esau's lies. Jacob bringing down Esau's foundation. The edification of what's really going on and the things that the Illuminati hid, man. You know, and that includes the Lord's name, your nationality, etc. So Second Ezra 6 and 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And that's what you're watching right now, man. Through the spinning power, how about Shemal Shah, we bringing down Esau's lies, bringing down Esau's kingdom spiritually by bringing out his lies and stuff, man. I'm gonna jump. This is 657. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us. Right, the heathen nations, starting with Esau, and then the Moabites, the Chinese, the Japanese, them Africans. Those are heathen nations, and right now Esau is the ruler over us. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens, which have been ever reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. It says, but we, thy people, whom thou callest thy firstborn, thy only begotten, thy fervent lover, are given into their hands. Right, because we was brought over here to serve in captivity, man. And we still over here. We not in physical bounds. Not all of us. Some, Jake in jail, But yeah, we're not in a physical slavery like how we used to be. But and actually, slavery is still going on. It's just depending on where it's at in the world right now, man. You know. But yeah, but the vast majority of us are not in the slavery that we once were when we first got here. But it says, 2 Ezra 6:58, but we thy people whom thou hast called thy firstborn and thy only begotten and thy fervent lover are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess? See, the world was made for our sakes, the blacks, the lands, Native Americans, the Israelites, man. We sinned against the Lord. The Lord put us in this captivity. That's why we're suffering so much hell. But our kingdom is coming next. So Esau got a cutoff date for all this BS that he's doing, man. 2 Ezra 6:59. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? Our world is coming next. We had to go through this to learn of good and evil, man. It was the Lord, man. We sinned against the Lord and stuff. It was all his plan, man. How long shall this endure? And it's coming to an end, man. It's coming to an end. That's why the scripture said the triumphing of the wicked is short, because they ain't got too much long to be doing all this BS that they got going on. Posing as the righteous. What is it called again? Job 14:5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. Right, so Esau got a cutoff date, man. And these signs that's happening are a part of his cutoff date. See, he thinking he's doing this to bring in a new world order, when it actually this is ushering in the kingdom of heaven, man. And Slocky, I'm just going in the spirit, man, just pulling precepts. Nothing was set in order. This is Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? So you can't trust this devil, man. You can't trust Esau at all with this agenda that he got going on. The smoke coming from Canada, the air might be toxic. Everybody watch out. Man, this devil is trying to kill people off. He's trying to bring in this new world order. He's trying to get as many sacrifices as he can, because this country was built off what? Witchcrafts. And they even they pass laws so people can do witchcraft. So you have to be mindful of these things and know that there's always an agenda for what's going on. Remember the Zionists, the fake Jews, uh, put in the media what they want you to know, and shit, 9 times out of 10, they the ones who are, whatever's in the news is the one who's, they the ones who got their hands in it, and if they don't have their hands in it, they using it, you know, Slack it, whether for distraction or to help further their agenda, man. All right, this is the last one. Excuse me. Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Right, so you can't listen to the media and these devils tell you that all this shit is happening by coincidence. Um, like they don't have nothing to do with it, man. It says Psalms 55:21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Was in his heart. They trying to kill people off. They got to bring in that new world order, man. So you can't trust him. His words were salted in oil, yet were they drawn swords. Right. So Esau has an agenda behind what he's doing. You just gotta be watchful. You know. With that being said, call Allah Yahbashim Shai, double honors to the elders and the apostles that rule well, and salutations to the brothers that doing the truth and sincerity. Shalom.